Some more CPAC stuff. Steve Bannon was interviewed impromptu at CPAC by The Radar, an Israeli outlet, it seems like. There's something in his words, says Google translates from the original Hebrew. So here is Steve Bannon asked about his support for Israel and who Israel's biggest foes really are.
I was born in Jerusalem. Folks from USSR, so they've experienced real socialism. My question is to you is this: what do you think about foreign aid to Israel? Is it a strategic partnership?
Israel is a partner of the United States, but people in Israel got to understand something. The number one enemy to the people in Israel are American Jews that do not support Israel and do not support MAGA. Okay, MAGA and the evangelical Christians and the traditional Catholics in this country have Israel's back. They have the Jews' back. The biggest single enemy to the Jewish people are not the Islamic supremacists. The biggest enemy you have is inside the wire. Progressive Jewish billionaires that are funding all this stuff. They are the number one enemy, and the people in Israel got to have to set that right, because MAGA has your back, traditional Catholics have your back, and evangelical Christians have your back. We will always have the back of Israel. But I got to tell you, you have an enemy inside the wire.
You're talking to me all wrong. It's the wrong tone.
I just played the Christopher Walken sound drop. I know Russ can't hear those on his iPad. But yeah, no, American Jews who don't like Israel, those are the biggest problem. It's funny because, you know, a lot of people have observed this, that Zionists really don't mind, like, rank anti-Semitism like this when it's in service of Israel. To come out and say, yeah, American anti-Zionist Jews, the progressive ones who control everything, they're the biggest enemy to Israel.
The billionaire Jews.
The billionaire progressive Jews, like George Soros basically was talking about. Yeah. Those are your greatest enemy. Clearly
the wire.
Inciting hatred against Jews. But turns out Zionists don't mind that whatsoever when that is in service of their propaganda. Let's play that one more time. Not the whole thing. We just play the first part of that.
I was born in Jerusalem. Folks from USSR, so they've experienced real socialism. My question is to you is this: what do you think about foreign aid to Israel? Is it a strategic partnership?
Israel is a partner of the United States, but people in Israel got to understand something. The number one enemy to the people in Israel are American Jews that do not support Israel and do not support MAGA.
American Jews that do not support Israel and do not support MAGA. He says those are the biggest enemies to Israel. And once again, raising the specter of progressive billionaire Jewish control. Add to that, of course, we played this in the last segment, but it bears repeating in this context too.
The only way that they win is we retreat. And we're not going to retreat. We're not going to surrender. We're not going to quit. Fight, fight, fight.
So anti-Semitism, such as progressive billionaire Jews control everything and they're the biggest enemy to Israel, combined with just straight up appeals to Nazism in the form of trolling via Roman salute. That doesn't bother the Zionists at all. No. If it's in service of Israel. You see how not only is Zionism not Judaism, Zionism intentionally promotes anti-Semitism because they want to scare Jews who don't support Israel into supporting Israel by ginning up hatred against Jews. And that's a perfect example from not even a Jew himself, from a self-described Christian Zionist, Steve Bannon.
Yeah, well, because the Zionists themselves are Nazis. They are Nazis. And what he's saying is, okay, well, you know, we have a term in here. Not all Israelis are familiar with it, maybe an Uncle Tom. You guys, as long as you're an Uncle Shlomo, we have your back. We have your back. As long as you are a puppet for our interests and you can ask, as notorious sex fiend RFK Jr. described you as an aircraft carrier, as long as you continue to function like that, we have your back. Not only do we have your back, we will help you stir up race hatred against Jews who don't have your back. And we will recreate a lot of Nazi propaganda on your behalf, which we assume that you're for because you're essentially Nazis anyway, right? Nazis of the world unite, even the Jewish ones.
Yep. Very well said. Very well said. Not much to add to that. I just thought that was worth adding in there. They're all such cucks when it comes to Israel. Big fucking tough guys, tough talkers. This is what I mean. They're all, this is what Nick says, and Nick is absolutely right. In the online space, it's easy to typecast certain people and make certain assumptions on people based on how they present. And this is a perfect case study in why you should not do that. Because chudfests like CPAC, right, where you got all the big red meat eating married Christian men, right? They're all complete cucks when it comes to Israel. And as Nick Cruz says, a lot of the skinny, woke-looking kids on college campuses, they're out getting their heads cracked for Gaza. And they are acting in defiance of a very militarized police state for what they believe in. These people don't have the balls to do that. None of them do. None of them do. None of these people have the balls of any of those kids on those campuses.
No. You go in the bathrooms at that place. There's always 4 sets of feet under the stall.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Please clap.